Hey everyone, welcome back to Obscurus Lupa Presents. Holy shit! I got a haircut! Here's Witchcraft 4, The Virgin Heart. Hey, I know Will kept getting interrupted during sex, but I hope they're not trying to say he's the Virgin Heart here. Be kind to the man. He's had a rough time, what with his mother trying to have sex with him and an evil warlock breaking his heart. Not to mention the daddy issues and strange voodoo people following him around while he tries to be the best damn pro bono warlock lawyer ever. And I guess that's as good of a summary as you need for what's happened so far. Witchcraft 4 marks a turning point in the series in that this is when it starts to go into the softcore porn territory. Outside of trying to get more people to rent this, I'd be willing to bet the main reason for the abundance of boobs this time around was in no small part due to the casting of Julie Strain as one of the leads. If you aren't familiar with Julie Strain, here's the rundown. She's been in over 100 B movies and started out as a penthouse model and is well known for her Shakespearean acting. Or possibly her breasts. She was married to Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles co-creator Kevin Eastman for a while as well, which explains any of his acting credits that aren't Ninja Turtles related. If you want to see these two having sex as King and Queen of Space, it is on video, but I don't recommend it. Witchcraft 4 was one of Julie Strain's first leading roles, and apparently she got in trouble with the Screen Actors Guild for doing the movie. I only know this because of the 4-minute intro to the DVD by Troma, which includes 1 minute of book promotion, about 30 seconds worth of information on Witchcraft 4, and about 3 minutes of Julie Strain being naked and putting on makeup. You could probably hazard a guess that this was a Troma release, even if they didn't have their name plastered on it. There's a person credited as Club Announcer in this, which speaks volumes for the quality control at this point. This is also the send-off for Charles Solomon Jr. as William, which is by far the most tragic thing about it. I'm gonna make a sadly on the floor after this. This week on Witchcraft, some guy is trying to have sex with his girlfriend, but she isn't ready. I see a pattern here.
Let's take a walk. Come on.
We took a walk. We walked from the car to here.
Rock solid logic, now comes the sex.
Nora! Okay, Nora, where are you? Nora? There's snakes out there, it's dangerous.
Yeah, there's snakes out here. In my pants. He's running around for forever, just announcing what he's doing.
Okay, I'm gonna get a bird's eye view. I'll find you. I see you. Alright, I'm coming after you. Here I come. Ah! Oh, shit.
Can't really say he didn't do that to himself. His girlfriend comes back and somehow didn't see or hear any of this happen, prompting her to try and wake someone who is clearly injured and unconscious.
What did you do? Help!
Oh no, help, I'm scared.
Damn it! Oh shit!
I should note that outside of Julie Strain, this is the person with the most acting credits in this. Though, to be fair, those credits include the Sopornos. She doesn't have any luck with the phone since she dials the wrong number. Not sure how you do that with 911, but there you go. She's tried nothing and she's all out of ideas when someone stops by to help.
I mean, there's blood and everything everywhere. I didn't even see what happened and stuff. I mean, I wish I wasn't so mean and everything, and we were fighting
Calm
and stuff.
down.
I don't even know you and everything. I mean, you're helping me, and it's so nice of you.
Huzzah! The beast has been slain! The next bit of the film is a mix of boredom and confusion. Adventures in Dumbass City wakes up, and the movie cuts between him stumbling around and the bad guy putting change in the payphone. We briefly see the girlfriend dead on some altar somewhere else entirely, and cut back to her boyfriend wandering around in the woods again. Either he spent an extraordinary amount of time wandering around talking to himself, or they really booked it with that sacrificial murder thing. Boyfriend guy tries the phone and sees something on his hands that isn't shown on screen. I guess we'll just assume the phone was covered in honey. The police show up, presumably headed by Officer Busby, finally ending the damn scene. That is the longest cold opening I've ever witnessed. On average, a scene of a movie usually takes around 3 pages of a script. Generally, a page equals 1 minute of screen time. This scene would have equaled 13 pages. That's too damn long! We're not gonna see these people again. We don't need a Star Wars-length backstory on them. Anyway, Witchcraft 4 is a little different than the other films in the series in that they decided to take a slight change of direction outside of adding more nudity.
It's been 3 years since I was last forced to use my powers.
Yep, this is done in the style of film noir. Because why not? It's kinda like film noir if it was stupid and not in a parody way. Also, timeline check. If it's been 3 years since he used his powers, that makes this the future! The year 2016 is looking good, folks. Hang on a second. Forced to use his powers? What happened to accepting it as part of him? Wasn't that like the whole point of the last movie? It's how he defeated the villain. He accepted that his power came from good. He even had a little speech at the end. So much for that. Speaking of which, Charlotte's gone now, meaning his whole fight for her didn't mean much either. So much for that.
It's not like being on the wagon. People will try to tempt you into doing anything when they know you've got the juice.
Once you decipher the language known as didn't check background music versus dialogue, you might be able to figure out what William is saying. He equates using magic to doing drugs and says that he's given up trying to live a perfect life. I guess we can assume something else happened between the last movie and this one, since he seemed to be doing okay. A client, Lily Wilde, comes in and explains that the guy from the beginning was her brother and he's been accused of murder. William, having given up public defending for a private practice, came highly recommended to take her case.
I'm sorry, I can't do it. I have a private practice now, and I just handle insurance cases.
He comes highly recommended because of that case when the prosecuting attorney mysteriously disappeared and bought him some time. Also, he's really good at insurance cases. As a side note, I'm baffled by the choice to put this out-of-focus duck statue in the foreground for the majority of this scene.
Please. I don't have that much money, Mr. Spanner. I work in a bookstore. I hardly make the rent or the car payments. I don't even have a car now because they're holding it as evidence. I need your help.
You said the magic word and you have no money to pay me? Consider me as good as hired. William speaks with the officer in charge of the case, who considers the kid as good as guilty because his fingerprints were all over the scene and the girl's purse was in his possession, even though there's no body yet. By his logic, it had to be him because he was the only person out there in the middle of nowhere. No, really.
Not to mention he was the only person out there in the middle of nowhere.
Yeah, no one else could have gone there, especially to commit a murder. Also, it can't be that middle of nowhere since there's a working phone booth. As William points out as well, the guy obviously had her stuff with him because he was her boyfriend. While I'm doing some detectiving of my own, I would think the second set of tire tracks from the other guy's car would indicate that there was someone else there. Also, the fact that someone had to have called the police, did they think he did it? I'm not saying the boyfriend wouldn't be an obvious suspect, but there is definitely evidence to cause reasonable doubt. Which, by the way, means the officer is trying to connect the kid to at least 6 other murders. Again, no one has even produced a body at this point.
There are certain aspects of this investigation that cannot, and I mean cannot, be leaked to the press. If by chance this wild boy is innocent, and this killer's signature gets out, I'll bet you 10 to 1 we have a whole string of copycat killings.
Oh, this is the biggest bunch of horse shit I've ever heard in my life.
I can leak key evidence from several unsolved murder cases if I want. That's a bunch of horseshit, officer.
If you try to take this thing to court, I am gonna nail your ass to the wall. Goodbye.
Wait, so the guy came to William's office for this? Do officers generally go to private practices with folders full of classified evidence on murder cases? Those leave the station a lot? The next scene has some key pieces of exposition in it. Not that you'd notice because it's all quiet voiceover you have to strain to hear over the sound of footsteps. Their feet can't be that loud, they're in a grassy field. You can't read their lips either because their backs are to the camera the whole time. What I gleaned from it is that while the police don't actually have a case, Lily's brother is being held in custody since evidence has been leaked to the public and they want his head. So basically, the opposite of the last scene. William thinks the police want to convict the kid because he's the only person they've got, so he vows that he'll find the killer himself. Hey, remember this line?
Are you a private detective?
No, I'm an attorney.
Yeah, well, you know, they're basically the same thing now. I guess lawyers can mess with cases and have a legal leg to stand on. After all, interfering with a police investigation is how things get done. I mean, they do realize that's not what lawyers do, right? It's cool, because William is really good with investigating.
So this is the phone booth, huh?
Good deduction, Sherlock. You must be the world's greatest detective. Lily finds a matchbook coming from a club downtown.
It's a club downtown.
So, just to make this clear, Lily found a piece of useful evidence which the police somehow missed. William commented that the phone booth was in fact a phone booth. I have my doubts about how highly recommended he was. Undercover lawyer, away! Aw man, this club is no good. They've got people brawling before you even get in. Unfortunately for them, they have no idea Charles Solomon is coming. William tries to make friends with Chester McSuspender here and the baddie from earlier. They're talking about criminal stuff and not letting anything out, but if William can hear them over the club music, they aren't being terribly good at this discretion thing. If anything, though, William knows how to blend in.
Boss, who's on? Maybe you are. I'm gonna put a wig on you and shave your ass and legs, and I can do a striptease. How's that, my boy?
That'd be good.
Woohoo! That's almost as sharp as the successful businesswoman quip from part 3. Excuse me, good sirs, do you know where some good drug parties are? This is only matched by the comedy stylings of Silkshirt.
Ladies and gentlemen. Well, gentlemen, that is. Hey, I'd say it's a good time for some disco. Well, that doesn't really work here, I guess.
William's one clue is BD, which was written on the back of the matchbook. He finds a dancer there by the name of Belladonna, so that's who he goes to talk to. In a twist that will surprise no one, she strips in her first scene.
I'm sorry, do you know where the bathroom is?
Please, come in.
Turns out my dressing room is the bathroom. Sucks, but it is a seedy strip club. What are you gonna do?
That looks dangerous.
I mean, I know I was smoking in that other scene, but I almost caught my hair on fire with a lighter once. It was no bueno. William seems to think she's the trustworthy type, so he tells her he's a lawyer and he has a few questions. William Spanner, world's greatest detective. It was at this point that I was beginning to realize something about Charles Solomon's swan song. Look at him, burnt out, waiting for the world to burn with him. He knew that was a phone booth, but his spirit wasn't in it anymore. His heart belonged to racing, and Witchcraft had burned him one too many times. It was time for this scuba diving, race car driving martial artist to punch his last woman, and I was ready to punch her with him. Why is this guy scuttling around like a crab?
Anyway.
Was she pretty?
Who?
The stripper, stupid.
Look, lady, he's investigating this thing illegally for, like, no money. Let's not be pursuing a romance here. Check the track record. You'll either disappear by the next movie or turn out to be his mother. William follows Belladonna around again and finds out that she's sneaking out to sing at another club. She's a stripper with a heart of gold. Well, her outfit's kinda gold-ish. He asks her about the matchbook and if she knows anything about the disappearance, and naturally she's a bit upset about him following her around and snooping into her business.
You can think whatever you want. I'm not sticking around this place. If you can stop being detective for just one night, maybe you can come to my place.
I think I'm mad. Why don't you come to my place and have sex with me? Okay, but only because I'm the world's greatest warlock detective lawyer.
Let me get changed and I'll be right back.
Did William just level up?
Look, what I really need tonight is some information.
Don't worry about it.
Okay. Well, wasted no time on that. You realize she's very possibly a suspect, right, William? At the very least, you know she's connected to a murder. Oh well, at least the music's good. Can't wait for 2016! William is once again interrupted pre-sex because someone is at the door. Yeesh, with his track record, maybe he really is still a virgin. Bella, are you cheating on me again? Oh, bitch, where's my money? Evil Chris Kattan is Santera, her manager, and he suspects that she might have been sneaking out to have sex with other guys, so he starts roughing her up. This makes William have flashbacks to the first movie.
I
don't have that fear that my strength comes from evil anymore. There's nothing but goodness in my heart.
He is half good, but maybe he's experiencing the bad half of him. It's genetic, you know. William says he can help Belladonna if she'll tell him what's going on. She says that Santera gave her everything, including her voice, but she won't elaborate further before kicking him out.
The plot thickens. Or sickens. Come on.
Hey, I don't want to bother you, but if you've got any insurance problems, I'm totally your guy.
Jack comes out of the barn with a watermelon. With a watermelon! I mean...
The watermelon story is the best part of this scene, since most of it is William retelling what we just watched, but maybe some romance is budding? Just kidding. Lily says she was hurt before and acts not interested. Then what was all this stripper jealousy about? Talk about sending mixed signals. My mom was the same way. Let me just watch you get naked from the window. That'll help build your trust. Whoa, major granny panties. Never mind. And then, almost immediately, sex with Belladonna in the elevator. His heart may belong to Lily, but his penis belongs to another.
I know this is a funky old elevator, but it's the only place I could think of. If you know what's good for you, you'll stay away from us. Don't ever come near me again!
How could you do this to her? Johnny's her best friend! William decides to look into her manager, but he can't find any information on him. The guy is a disc jockey at a college radio station, for whatever reason, so he calls up the station to get some info.
I mean, it's fucking hot right now. People fucking love him, you know? Okay? You got it? That's it. I'm done. I'm late for my art class. Goodbye.
This is like full of people getting overly defensive and saying goodbye.
Goodbye.
Bye.
Goodbye.
I'm like totally late for my college stereotype class, alright? Goodbye. Cha! You're probably wondering what all the music stuff is about. Well, here's the deal. William questions a guy at the club about Santera, and the guy mentions the Legend of the Blues. If you know what that is, you've probably figured out the deal. The legend stems from Robert Johnson, a hugely influential blues singer from the 30s who had lyrics dealing with devils and crossroads. Since he died young, a legend sprung up that he made a deal with the devil to get his talent. So this is Witchcraft's version, with Belladonna as Robert Johnson. That'd make Santera the devil, or at least a guy who works for him. Really? You're gonna name him Santera? Real clever, guys! This is what leads to things like Obi-Wan being from the planet Stoojon. Ah, back to his power thing. It doesn't even burn this time, he just has glowy hands. He's not really that impressive of a warlock for someone who is supposedly going to lead all the other evil guys. The guy he's interrogating says he doesn't want to get involved, and William leaves him alone. So at this point, I'm having a hard time figuring out just who this movie is for. It's like part film noir, part softcore porn, part cautionary tale about the devil and blues music. Hey, that shop owner is the same lady who played Ruben's mom in the last one.
Say, you look really familiar. Do I know you from somewhere?
No, I don't think so.
Oh, come on. She was a big part of Witchcraft 3. She was the one who taught William to see that magic depends on the person using it. This is just slightly confusing. And what, we're supposed to remember enough to get the "you look familiar" in-joke, but not the entire turning point of the whole movie? Also, no explanation for her eyes glowing, so I guess you have to make one up. She tells William about the legend of... Lyndon Johnson?
It's based on a quote by Lyndon Johnson.
Man, our 36th president must have been a killer blues singer. William finds a picture of Santera in the old blues book, meaning he's been making these deals for a long time. He goes to Belladonna to ask her about it, and woohoo, okay, she was just casually watching TV in that, or what? No warlocks allowed. The lackeys take him to a field and leave him for dead. Santera revives him and claims to be his reincarnated brother? It's incredibly difficult to understand the dialogue as it is, but they add a reverb to his voice that makes it even harder. He asks William to join him so they can be cool evil buddies together. Oh man, clearly he doesn't remember what happened to the last guy who tried to be his evil-doing pal.
Dinner tonight, my place.
Oh sure, the evil warlocks are always good to pay for dinner, but do they ever call? Now is the time for action, dinner, and a show. Oh snap, 2016 just got Solomoned. Time to use the ancient power of... crowbar. Oh goodness. Oh witchcraft. So Santera has Lily taken hostage and wants William to take her heart, thus achieving immortality.
If you love her, she will be part of you forever.
Well, I did watch her change from her window one time. I guess that's the same thing as love.
You're the last there is. There is no one else.
Wait, what? Then what does that make Santera? And what about this?
We're the only two left who can achieve this.
What are you trying to tell me, movie? No one tells Charles Solomon what to do, so he promptly kills off 2 of the lackeys.
You bastard!
What, throwing him down isn't cool, but everything else was okay? We'd have a quick reaction, lady. Oh man, Hulk yell, do it! He doesn't Hulk yell. He does, however, rip his heart out of his chest with his bare hand. Look at the shot here. Doesn't it seem like he's checking the time? Oh man, I'm totally gonna miss tonight's episode of Renegade! Lily breaks it to him that she wants to see other people, and he quietly accepts it so she can lead a happy life alone. So it turns out she had sold her soul to Santera too, and she set this whole thing up to trick William into sacrificing her? I don't know.
You must think I'm dirt.
Yeah, pretty much. The officer from before shows up to congratulate William on catching the real serial killer. So how are they gonna explain why the guy's heart is missing? If anything, since he died the same way as the other victims, wouldn't that actually eliminate him as a suspect? And if the officer was listening to the whole thing go down, why didn't he come in to stop more people from dying? He's a worse detective than William is. The officer lets them go, and William writes all of this off as a dream that's finally come to an end. Seeing as how there are 9 more sequels, we all know that isn't true. Unfortunately, it is the end for Charles Solomon Jr. So long, man. You were the best. Lily's brother went to the psychiatric ward because she had their parents killed. No, really, that's the end. I'll give Witchcraft 4 credit for trying something a little more ambitious with its plot. It takes some elements from real folklore and tries to throw in some twists. Unfortunately, they tried a little too hard, and the genre of this one seems confused. It also seems to be written by someone who only had a general idea of what the first 3 movies were, since William doesn't have a clear transition from accepting magic to referring to it as a drug addiction. It's not a bad continuation of William's story, it just feels like we're missing whatever happened in between. Alongside that, the production seemed fairly rushed, with lots of long one-shot takes and flubbed lines. It's not as good as the second or third movies, but it's still not as bad as the first. Next time, it's Witchcraft 5. Oh boy!
No one can break the silence.
The tradition of terror continues in Witchcraft 5, Dance with the Devil. Now on video cassette from Academy Entertainment.
Sugar, let me entice you with my sweet perfume. Couldn't take my eyes off you soon as you walked into the room, yeah.
Just got my jacket.